Welcome back to another Phill-osophy Arc episode. In this episode, I'm covering us, humans. When we come into this world, folks, we're just blank sheets of paper, empty slates, waiting to be engraved by data, wisdom, knowledge, thoughts, desires, and so much more. The standard human brain operates on about 20 watts, less than a fridge light globe. And think about how much we can fit in it. It was quite a number of years ago that they'd finally reached the amount of the internet where it rivaled the storage of the human brain. From the inception of the internet all the way through to 10 years ago. A good 20 to 30 years of internet finally equaled the human brain in capacity. And look at what we've got, folks. We can handle multiple processes, from regenerating our skin and injuries, to generating blood cells in our marrow, to operating our lungs, liver, organs, everything. And we can still think about how the back of our head's itchy, or what we're going to eat tonight for dinner. And also at the same time ponder what we want to create next. Like this episode. The human brain is capable of many amazing and interesting things. We can fit the imagination of everything inside of our heads, manage our lives in a business, go to work and remember the conversation that we had last week, and dream of crazy and wondrous landscapes based upon the daily goings-on that we experience. We feed our body biofuel, basically, aka food. It turns into electrical impulses and powers our brain and system and nervous system, with tiny electrical little pulses that travel between our neurons and fire and capture. And all this in a four-limbed animal, aka the evolved human. Think about what we've achieved, folks. We went from a little tiny glass-like eel about this big that basically had a spinal column through it and swam like a little flat piece of paper, like a glass eel. Then we eventually gained scales and armor and limbs and crawled from the ocean. Then we evolved into a mouse, a mammal. Then we evolved into a monkey. And then we became this eventually. And look what we've got. We have lights, paintings and art. We have metal tube for bed frames and fairy lights. And this phone is a culmination of hundreds of inventions that I film on the Phill-osophy Arc series with. Think of all we've achieved, folks. And then think of our modern day. We have effectively this phone right here that I'm filming on. Folks, we have supercomputers in our pockets. More technology that then went into space in the past. Landed on the moon. And what are we doing with the entire gold mine of the human wealth of knowledge sitting in our pockets at our fingertips every day? We're just scrolling every day and wasting it, aren't we? We could be doing so much more. The sky's the limit, folks. And I think sometimes we misuse it. So horribly so, isn't it tragic? We've got more data at our fingertips than bloody Einstein or Tesla had, We didn't even have to build this stuff ourselves. We didn't even have to invent this. It was given to us by a phone manufacturer, posted in the mail and sent to our houses. We just go, beep, bop, boop, phone set up. I'm going to send a meme to my friend, oh my God. Pretty funny. And, we didn't even need the Encyclopedia Britannica anymore. We didn't have to read that. We've got ChatGPT and phones to summarize everything for us. ChatGPT, give me a summary of liquid pumps for bitumen plants, In the past, we would have had to read papers and books and manuals and talk to qualified people to find out how it worked, We get everything, folks. And what are we doing with it? We got these vessels of flesh and meat with tendons and bones and skin. This is our sports car. The heart is our engine. The organs are our car parts that make the car run. The hydraulics are the kidneys, The lungs are the air intake. The brain is the race computer. And our minds, the master, holds the steering wheel and the gear pedals at its fingertips. But honestly, folks, what are we doing with it? Are we feeding our car garbage grade fuel with high sulfur in it? Are we feeding it pure 98 octane, the best stuff? Are we giving it synthetic oil or the real good stuff, you know? Are we taking our mind out to give it a stretch and a run in the park, you know, let it off the leash, woof, woof, woo, into the distance? Come on, catch a ball, brain. Here's a Sudoku. Are we treating our bodies good enough, folks, is what I'm getting at. Are we treating this fine vessel of the universe and evolution, thousands of millions of years of it, are we doing it good? Are we treating it with respect? Are we feeding it properly? Are we grooming it and giving it a good pat after a hard day's work? Or are we wasting this, folks? That is the question. If this is our vessel that we travel the universe with, are we using it properly? God in the universe has seen fit to give us these things, and it's up to us if we want to unlock its absolute true potential, the absolute upper limit, the threshold of what we can do in this universe. It's up to us, all of us, to work together, work as individuals, work on ourselves, work with family, work alone, work with friends, to collectively, as a living species, we've invented the technology to, over time, hunt, eat, kill, harvest, butcher, turn into hand tools anything that ever existed on this planet. The reason we're at the top is because we out-thought it, we out-invented it, we out-tooled it, we out-bloody creativity, everything else. I mean, we don't see sharks running the show, folks, or dolphins, or octopuses, or jumping spiders, as intelligent as those little beautiful critters are, those inquisitive little 8-legged creatures. We're at the top, folks, because we're the smartest, most creative things on this planet. But it's also up to us as the top of the food chain to care for this planet and be one with it. Instead of pumping trash out into the planet and burying it in holes, you know, and dissipating it into the atmosphere, we are the carers of this planet, and evolution has seen fit to have us be at the top. So we've got to respect what we're using, you know, because we're all stuck on this ball of dirt together. We're all we have. This planet is at our mercy. We're not stuck on this planet. This planet's stuck here with us. And you know, it's up to us to care for it, folks. I like collecting trash and taking it and recycling it and binning it and reusing the parts of it that is still usable, you know, like boot straps off ski boots, you know, fishing line if it's good enough and not nicked. We're responsible for this blue ball of dirt, you know. Beautiful as it is, we're trashing this planet. Yeah. And so, with our 20-watt brain computers, what do we want to imprint on them? A baby comes into this world with nothing, a blank drive. And then we start storing data on it, teaching it things, you know. What are we going to teach it? Are we going to teach it like my parents and grandpa taught me? Generational hoarding that I had to unlearn and wipe from my mental drive, to defrag my brain and unlearn all the unnecessary and cluttered, useless data, to remove it and wipe it from my brain because it no longer benefited me, or it never did. Or are we going to teach this thing like a streamlined supercomputer? Pure, needed, important facts and data, points, skills, techniques, abilities, and hobbies. We get to choose what goes in here, folks, and YouTube Shorts and TikTok slides right past that, engineered by smarter humans than me and you, to slip right into our brains and stick. Useless, cluttered, defunct garbage. Be careful what we let in here, folks, because this is the powerhouse of our superpower. This is our chamber of wisdom, our chamber of secrets, our chamber of knowledge, you know. Don't let no basilisk slip in there and mess it up, you know. Be mindful, folks, of what you want to store inside of this thing and what you want to let live inside of this thing. The heart and the soul, you know? Because the heart, the soul, and the psyche are the three most important things we all possess. And what we let into them, well, it dictates who we are, what we do, where we go, and how high we strive to achieve. And they are sacred land for us. They're the one thing that we control, that we can let in whatever we want. We dictate and control these things, folks. They are ours, and nothing can take these things away from us unless we let them in. Now, ponder a moment in your own time and have a little think about what you want to let into your heart, your soul, and your mind. Because you shape your world, folks. You dictate the reality that you are. And it can be whatever you want. This is Phill-osophy Arc. Love myself. I love you all. Catch you later.
Hey, Future Racer here. If you're finding the Phill-osophy Arc series inspirational, educational, entertaining, humorous, or it's giving you a little smile, think about liking and subscribing. If you have a family member, loved one, or friend who you think could equally benefit from this series, think about sharing it with them.